We are still under fractions, and I really believe you are enjoying my lessons on fractions. This morning section is on comparing fractions, and to compare fractions we use symbols as greater than, less than, and at times some people use equal to. So I'll start with whole numbers, and after that we will move on to comparing fraction. So I now want to start with comparing whole numbers. So compare the following numbers using this or this. We have 1, 6, 8, 2, 9, 3, 7, 7. I have given you 3 questions here, and now we are having 6 at the left hand side and 8 at the right hand side. This means this 6 is less than 8 because 6 cannot be greater than 8. 9 and 3. 9 is at the left hand side and 3 is at the right hand side. This means 9 is greater than 3 because it has more value than what? 3. 7 here, 7 here, so they are what? Equal to. I now want us to dip more into comparing fractions. Now, comparing fractions has been many students' headache. Many students don't understand this concept, and I will make it simple under this session. So to compare two fractions, when given same numerators, always the one with the least denominator is the greatest fraction. I take it again. To compare two fractions when given same numerators, the one with the least denominator is the greatest fraction. Let me use examples to illustrate. When given 1 over 2 and 1 over 3, if you are asked to compare this fraction, you see we are given same numerators. Same what? Numerators, but different denominators. And I'm saying if you are given same numerators, but the one with the least denominator is always the greatest what? Fraction. This means half is greater than what? 1/3. So you face greater than here. Another example, 1 over 6 and 1 over 5. If you are asked to compare these two fractions, we are having same numerators here. You ask yourself, what is the least denominator? And always the least denominator is the what? Greatest. This means this is greater than this. So 1/6 will be less than what? 1/5. Let me take the last example under this. 1 over 9. 1 over 10. We are having 1 over 9 and 1 over 10. If you are asked to compare using greater than, less than, or equal to, when given same numerators, you ask yourself, what is the least denominator? And the least denominator is 9. This means this fraction is greater than what? This fraction. So greater than. So always the one with the least denominator, when given same numerators, is the greatest fraction. The first section under comparing fractions, we were given same numerators. For the second part, I will give you same denominators. So you can use that one to differentiate it. This one is different denominators, and always to compare two fractions when given different denominators, the one with the greatest numerator is always the greatest fraction. I take it again. To compare two or more fractions, the one with the greatest numerator when given same denominators, that one is the greatest fraction. Let me give you an example. 1 over 8. 2 over 8. You see, we are having 1 over 8 here and 2 over 8. This time, we are not having same numerators, but what? Same denominators. And once you are given same denominators, I am saying that the one with the greatest numerator is the greatest what? Fraction. This means this 2 is the greatest fraction, 2 over 8. So once this one is here, it means this one is less than what? 2 over 8. Another example. 3 over 8. 3 over 5. 1 over 5. So 5 is the denominator. That's same denominator. And once this is the greatest what? Fraction. Because this one has the greatest numerator and is at the left hand side. This fraction is definitely greater than what? 1 over 5. I just wanted us to relax our mind. That's why I paused the video. Now let us continue. At times they will give you different numerators and different denominators, and when you are given a question like that, you always change the denominators to the same denominators. I repeat, when you are given different numerators and different denominators, you change the denominators to the same denominators. But the number, you multiply it by the denominator. You multiply that same number by the numerator. Let me use this example to explain. You see, we are having 2 over 3 dash 1 over 4. And this one, to change these denominators to same denominators, you multiply this one by what? 4. Because 3 by 4 is what? 12. And 4 times 3 2 is what? 12. Because I want it to be same what? Denominators. But if I multiplied here by maybe 7, you cannot multiply this one by 6. It will be very difficult for you to change it to same denominators. You always take a number that you won't find yourself fumbling. 3 times 4 is what? 12. So to change this one to 4 times 3 is what? 12. And once I have multiplied this fraction, that's the denominator of this fraction by 4, you multiply the numerator 2 by 4. I take note. Once you've multiplied this denominator by 4, you multiply the numerator 2 by what? 4. So it becomes 2 by 4 over 3 by 4. Dash. These two, I multiply the denominator by 3. This means you also multiply the numerator by what? 3. So it becomes 1 by 3 over 4 by 3. And 2 times 4, we are getting what? 8 over 12. Dash. 1 times 3, we are getting what? 3 over 12. You see, I now have the same denominators and different what? Numerators. That's why I'm saying that always when they give you different numerators and different denominators, you change the denominators to same denominators but leave the numerator. You see what I'm getting? So 8 12 dash 3 12, and I'm saying once the denominators are the same, the one with the greatest numerator is always the greatest what? Fraction. And we see this one is greater than what? This one. So you use our greater sign. Let's take our last example under this session. One over 5. That's 3 over 2. You see, we are having different numerators and different denominators. And to change this one to different denominators, you multiply this one by 2 and this one 2 by 5, because we will get 10 here. And once you get 10, what number should be multiplied by 2 for us to get 10 is what? 5. So you multiply the numerator by 2 and the denominator 2 by what? 2. Because I said once you've multiplied this one by 2, you multiply the numerator 2 by the same what? Number. This one 2, you multiply the numerator by 5 and 2 by what? 5. 1 times 2, we are getting 2 over 10. 3 times 5 is what? 15. Over 2 times 5 is what? 10. And since we are having same denominators, I'm saying the one with the greatest numerator is the greatest fraction. But this one, you see, is less. So this means this fraction is less than what? 15 over 10. And once you understand this, when I reach ordering fractions, that's arranging fractions in ascending or descending order, it will become what? More simple. Because to appreciate ascending order or descending order, that's ordering fraction, you should understand comparing fraction. You cannot start with ordering fraction, after that you come and take comparing fraction. No. We teach comparing fraction, and after that we dip into ordering of fraction. Thank you and have a nice day.